Welcome to today's video, where we are going to look at the differences between the African and Asian elephants. Before we delve into the differences between African and Asian elephants, it's worth noting that, in fact, many people believe that there are two distinct African elephant species. In 2000, scientists recategorized the African elephant species into the Loxodonta africana and the slightly smaller Loxodonta cyclotis. These two types of elephants have some small physical and genetic differences, but there are still arguments over whether the differences are large enough to justify categorizing them as two different species. While the two types of African elephants are different in size and favored habitats, they both have more features in common with one another than with the Asian elephant, or Elephas maximus. So let's look at some differences between the African and Asian elephants. We will examine 10 physical characteristics that differentiate these two creatures. First difference is in the head shape. Asian and African elephants have distinctly different head shapes, making them easy to tell apart from a distance. African elephants have fuller, more rounded heads, and the top of their head is a single dome shape. Asian elephants have a twin-domed head with an indent running up the center of their head. The size and shape of the ears are the second difference. Perhaps the most obvious way to distinguish between an African and Asian elephant is to look at their ears. African elephants have much larger ears, shaped like the continent of Africa. Asian elephants' ears, however, are smaller and more semicircular. Both elephant species use their ears to dissipate body heat, and as African elephants live in hotter climates with more direct sunlight than Asian elephants, they need to dissipate more heat, hence the larger ears. These two elephants also differ in their size and weight. The African elephant is the larger of the two elephants, with bulls growing up to 4 meters tall. By contrast, the biggest Asian males reach no more than 3.5 meters. One interesting note on the height of the elephant: the African elephant is tallest at the shoulder, while the Asian elephant's tallest point is at its back. Because of the differences in their size, adult African elephants weigh between 4,000 and 8,000 kilograms, while Asian elephants are lighter, weighing in between 3,000 and 6,000 kilograms. The fourth difference lies in the appearance and size of the tusks. Not all elephants have tusks. Both male and female African elephants can have tusks, but only male Asian elephants have tusks. Female Asian elephants have rudimentary tusks called tushes, which can also be found in some males. However, it's worth noting that not all male Asian elephants grow tusks, and with African elephants, while both sexes generally exhibit tusks, there are some cases without tusks. As a rule, African elephant tusks are bigger than Asian elephant tusks. Our fifth difference that we will examine today is the trunk. An African elephant's trunk has more visible rings on it, and it is not as hard to touch as the Asian elephant trunk. The end of their trunks are also very different. The African elephant trunk has 2 distinct fingers, which they use to pick up and manipulate objects. The Asian elephant has only 1 finger at the end of its trunk, which they compensate for by holding objects against the underside of their trunk. The sixth difference is they differ in the shape of their lower lip. The lower lips of the two elephants differ, though you can only really notice this if you're really close up and the elephant has raised its trunk and opened its mouth. Somewhat of an intimidating position to be in. An African elephant's lower lips are short and round, whereas Asian elephants have long, tapered lower lips. The seventh difference is in skin texture. The African elephant's skin is more wrinkled, while the Asian elephant features a smoother skin. This is actually due to the African elephant's skin having more cracks that were recently discovered to hold water, helping to keep the animals cool and preventing dehydration in their dry habitats. The cracks are formed by the outermost layer of the skin getting thicker and bending until the brittle skin layer fractures under the strain. Number 8, the number of toenails. All elephants have 5 toes on each foot, but not every toe has a nail. The number of toenails varies between the African bush elephant, the African forest elephant, and the Asian elephant. African forest elephants have 5 toenails on the front feet and 4 on the back feet. African bush elephants have 4 toenails on the front feet and 3 on the back feet, while Asian elephants have 5 toenails on the front feet and 4 on the back feet, like the African forest elephant. There are also a number of physical differences between the Asian and African elephants that you would be unlikely to pick up from drive-by sighting. The 2 most significant of these physical differences are the number of ribs and teeth shape. The number of ribs an individual elephant has varies from animal to animal, but African elephants tend to have more ribs than the Asian species, with up to 21 pairs of ribs versus the Asian elephant's average of 20 pairs of ribs. All elephant teeth are premolars or molars. African elephant teeth are loxodont or sloping, a term which gives them their scientific name Africana loxodonta. In contrast, Asian elephant teeth have a compressed diamond-shaped tooth profile. Aside from these 10 physical differences, there is a big difference between African and Asian elephants in range and diet. Let's look at the range. There is no overlap in the ranges of African and Asian elephants, so they're never found together in the wild. Asian elephants live in forested areas across southern Asia, from Nepal through India, and across Sri Lanka and throughout Southeast Asia, including Myanmar, Thailand, Malaysia, Laos, and Cambodia. African elephants range across the rainforests of West and Central Africa and through the savannas and deserts of Africa. The most northern area of the African elephant's range is the Sahel area of Mali, where a small nomadic herd of Mali elephants perform a circular annual migration in search of water. Now let's examine the diet. Both species of elephants eat a wide variety of plant matter found in their ranges, but there are differences in their diets. Whereas African elephants act as ecological filters by breaking tree saplings and stripping them of their foliage, Asian elephants are daintier eaters, preferring grasses, bamboo, and palms to tree saplings. The next difference is in the lifespan. In theory, elephants are among the longest living animals and live longer than any other land mammal besides humans. Due to their size and physiology, African and Asian elephants have different expected lifespans in the wild. The African elephants can live up to 70 years, while Asian elephants only live up to 48 years. There are some social similarities between African and Asian elephants. The females and children of all species of elephants live in herds with well-defined social structures. Herds are matriarchies, with the oldest female leading the group. Pubescent males leave their family herds and form bachelor male herds, and once they reach old age, tend to leave these bachelor groups to become solitary males. And that's our video for today. We hope you've enjoyed examining the differences between African elephants and Asian elephants. If you enjoyed today's video, please press like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.